Welcome to the Brandon and Carlos Show, where we talk about societal and political issues from our experiences and perspectives. We do this having fun along the way. Welcome back to the Brandon and Carlos Show, where we discuss societal issues from our perspectives while having fun along the way. We are proud to announce that this is our last installment of the Is It Worth Dating in 2019. We have brought back our guests from the previous shows. We have with us Marion Byrd. We also have Karen Tolbert. And we have Duwayne Reuben with us today.
Hi.
Hey.
Say hello to our audience.
Hello.
And of course, we're joined in the studio with my homeboy, my Ace Boone Coon, and my co-host, Carlos Dyer.
Yeah.
So we're just going to dive right in on today. Let me first of all say that they're laughing. But let me first of all say that I'm glad to have you all back. We got a lot of good reviews from the last show. Everything sounded good. I listened to it a few times just to have some research to discuss this next show. But everybody really likes both of the shows that you all were on. As we always say, let the ladies go first. Is that okay with you, Brother Reuben?
Yes, sir. Let's do that.
All right. I have a couple of questions that I pinned down here for you, just so we can kind of sum up this episode. Again, the question is it worth dating in 2019? Marion, if you could meet your 10-year-old self, what would you tell yourself about love in the future?
Oh, keep growing. And keep growing. Pay attention and listen.
So, and you don't have to tell your age now, obviously. But just remember that you're going all the way back to your 10-year-old self. And you want to tell yourself something that would prevent some of the heartaches?
Go ahead. Well, finish your question.
Well, what would you tell yourself? You've been hurt. I remember the last show you were telling me about some of your hurt. What would you tell yourself to prevent yourself from becoming hurt?
Well, I'm thinking about how I was at 10. And that's why I said that I would say, pay attention. Listen to the people around you that love you instead of paying attention to the people who don't love you. Because when some of the kids, when you're 10, you take advice from your friends. You're not really paying attention to the people who actually love you and care about you. So that's why I said I think I would tell myself to please pay attention, and please find value in yourself. Pay attention.
Karen?
First and foremost, love yourself. And know that, know your worth. And know what you're willing to deal with. Know that you're worth more than just a quick roll in the hay. Yeah, that's a big thing for me. Know your worth and love yourself. Those are two big things.
Gotcha.
So basically self-love and self-awareness.
Yes.
Okay.
Reuben? What about you?
Well, first thing, I guess, when you actually 10 years old, of course, there's still a lot of innocence. And with having that innocence and everything, and all you really taught at that point still is, like what she said earlier, kind of the love from family members and all. You really hadn't experienced pain. So I would go back and, first of all, probably if I could tell myself what I would tell myself at 10 would be, understand pain. Pain is a big reason why we love the way we do. All right, a lot of people don't understand that part. A lot of people think that love makes you love. No, pain is what makes you respect love when you finally do see it. All right, so that would be what I would tell myself then, is understand pain at a younger age. So that way, when I get in my 20, 25, and my so-called true first love relationship, I'm not so crushed.
That's good. That's great. He's up here dancing. All right. Now, I'm not going to ask this to the ladies because I'm old school, and I just feel like the man should ask the woman out. And you'll see why I say that when I ask this question. Reuben, how would you go about asking someone out?
Well, first off, I guess if I was going to try to ask a young lady out, first I would try to, number one, when I see her, you know, I got to see something in her that seems like me and her would somehow be compatible, enough to even go on a date. And then once I maybe found out that, you know, she had a certain liking for me, I would probably go over then and ask her, you know, some things maybe she would like to do, you know, out on a night in the town, things she like. And then I would try to actually set up a night out around what she likes. Because I believe, you know, when you take, you definitely, you know, I wouldn't take her to a sports event or something that, you know, the guys want to do and all the yelling and screaming. I would definitely try to take her somewhere that a woman would really want to feel comfortable and feel like, you know, I'm actually catering to her.
Yeah.
So that's what I do.
Gotcha.
I don't think it's fair that you don't want to ask us that question.
Okay.
Granted, yes.
Okay.
You know, a lot of women, some women probably are old school too, but there are some women out there who they don't mind. They'll approach you in a heartbeat.
Aggressive.
I wouldn't even use that word because I think that's taken out of content sometimes. Maybe direct
and more forward.
You know.
Yeah.
And they might not even come on strong. They just might be like,
so if you ask me out, who paying?
You. No.
See, wait.
Yeah.
No.
But that's why you have to be smart about it and let him think it's his idea to ask you out.
I said it's certain women who do.
An example of this.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
What do you mean an example?
An example. What would you do if you? Okay, let's say you saw Brandon across the way. How would you make that seem like this is out there?
Well, now I have a friend of mine who she might not. When we say ask out, they might not directly be like, "Hey, can I?" I would like to think if a woman say, "Can I take you out?" She is gonna be willing to pay for your meal. But most women kind of subtly try to see if you would like to go out or want to go out.
What would you do, something? What would you do?
I don't really approach. I'm old school. I don't really approach people, but my friend might be like,
We ain't talking about your friend.
I'm just, I don't know. What
Okay,
would be subtle?
let me say this part. Okay, so let's say that I did ask you out. Would you feel like since I asked you out that maybe it might be okay for you to go ahead and pay for the meal? Because, you know, like that way it look like we both putting something into this.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
So because I ask you out, I have to pay.
Yes.
Okay, and if you ask me out, back to the question.
See, I wouldn't ask you out. That's a no for Karen.
She asked me out.
The devil is a lie. Don't play. Now, do we need to go back and get get number 2? Don't play, baby. Don't play.
I think most women like it to come from a man first before we want to put ourselves out there and cater to y'all, or, you know, be like, because we don't mind. No, I don't think any woman, as long as she getting it, she don't mind returning it. That's, you know, we're nurturers by God's law. So at the end of the day, we don't mind.
Well, right, and I don't mean in a negative way, but I'm just saying, you know, a lot of times, I know for me, I like to be a giver, not a taker, and that's not necessarily saying that because I'm a man, but it's just the way I was raised. It's more like, if you ask me, I probably still would go and try to.
Now, I knew a gentleman who we mutually agreed to go get something to eat. He did pay for the meal, but he watched to see if I was going to at least reach for my purse. But
Yes,
because it was
that.
but because it was a mutual understanding, like this not a date in my mind. We going out as friends to grab something to eat. So that is why I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna pay for my own food, and he was like, no, I got it. So, it depends on, I guess, the situation.
Oh, so you was just gonna pay for your meal?
Yes, this is a mutual friendship lunch. This is not a date.
Now, I will say this: I did go out on a lunch date, and guys said, well, next time you got it. I'm like, sure, not a problem. And I did go to pay for it, and he would not let me pay for it. I'm like, I got it, because I'm a big girl. I have a checking account too. I didn't mind, because he had taken me out. So I don't have a problem being reciprocal. But now, I'm not going to ask you out on a date. No. That will never happen. Not from me. I just say that. Not me. I will never ask a man out. Never.
Well, since you would never ask a man out, okay, I'll go with that.
Preach.
And that's fine. No, because everybody has their own values and morals and what they will allow and won't allow. Let me ask you this. I don't guess you can answer this because you taken already, Karen. But Marion,
See how he treats you? See how he treats you?
Marion, how would you want somebody to ask you out?
I can answer that question.
Yeah, she answered that question.
Well, I'm gonna let you go first.
Please approach me like you're an adult. Male.
Yes.
Act like you have some sense.
I
Don't come
agree.
hollering at me. Hey, shawty.
Hey, boo.
What about?
Hey.
You've
Yeah.
been running through my mind all day long.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
No, what-
No, what is it? I know you tired.
Listen.
And you say why? I say because you've been running through my mind all
Yeah,
day long.
that weak line. Yeah.
Well, that's 1945.
Yeah.
Yes.
If your legs that tired, you probably can't go on a date no way.
Oh.
That
Probably,
I need to rest.
So, as an adult,
what would he say to you?
Yeah.
A gentleman should be able to approach a woman and say, hi, what's your name? I tell him, depending on the vibe I'm feeling. And then he say, I like whatever about you. Okay, that's fine. And depending on what he tells me he likes, I know how vain he's being.
See, I don't like for people to give me the up down. Don't come ask me out and you saying, hey, how you doing? Don't do that.
Yeah.
So
Don't,
they can't see you. So explain what you just did.
When a gentleman approach you and the first thing he do, his eyes roam you up and down while he's talking to you.
He's looking at your goodies.
Yes. Yes.
That's right. Be more like Steve Harvey. Be across the room and look at him,
you
and
know,
then come and look at me directly
in my face.
Don't be, hey,
know.
how you doing?
Okay, that just really made me feel some kind of way.
But
I'm
But
just
y'all women do it too.
No, but we
Yes,
don't.
y'all do.
No,
Let me tell you why.
No, we don't come up to y'all and be like, hey,
okay,
how
let
you
me give you an
doing?
excuse. Listen, just hear me out. Just hear me out. Because I always wondered this. Like every time, like I pass a woman in the mall or just out, the first thing she does, I don't know why she does this, but look down at my feet. And I've often wondered, have you ever, Reuben? Have you ever thought of that? I mean, or had that happen to you, Carlos? They
But-
never look.
But is she approaching you?
No, not necessarily approaching. Maybe I shouldn't say it that way. But I guess what I was getting at is you all look at us too.
We do, but most
different
women.
way.
I was
Y'all
just
look
gonna
at
say
our-
we not.
Y'all look at our fingernails.
I don't know what kind of
Am I
women
right?
Reuben been messing with, but you turned that whole chair around. And listen,
that's what I'm talking about.
We do look at y'all. I mean, of course we look at y'all, but it's in a different kind of content depending on what type of woman you are. Now, when I say most gentlemen, and I'm not trying to stick y'all all in one category, but most men, if a woman look nice to them, they approach them and they be, how you doing? No, I had a gentleman ask me, can I bite your fry? No.
Wow.
Can I bite your fry?
That's
No,
lame.
you can't bite
Wow.
my fry. I was eating some McDonald's French fries, and he was, "Can I bite your fry?"
This is why I keep looking the way I do, I guess, because it seems like everybody make it like the men do the looking, but I feel like
women look too.
Okay, I feel like in 2019 and in 2012, same thing. I mean, right, you gotta look because to me it goes back to that thing. You never know what you really got till you start living with somebody. Okay, so of course when I first started approaching somebody, I'm already what's your etiquette, your mannerisms. Okay, is your hair nappy? Okay, or you got food under your fingernails.
A bunch of wigs.
What that booty looking like?
Because let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? I know eventually I'm gonna test drive this new car. Okay, but I don't want to take it for a test drive if I look over here and I see the warranty ain't what it look like. Let's just be real. Wow. Let's just be real. Okay.
We having some good
Okay. Okay. So I'm because a lot of times and I said this on the other episode with these guys. That's my biggest thing with the whole dating. Wasting time.
Yeah, some stuff.
So when I look at you, I kind of get in my officer mode. I'm breaking you down head to toe. I want to know if you've been to jail. I want to know what your background is, who your mama is. Are we related? Because I don't want to get 3-4 months. Even 3 months is a long time.
Right.
It's a long time. And then when you start talking about a year or 2 years, then we done found out. Yeah. You throw your clothes all over the house. You're nasty and trifling. It's like I just feel like people look more than they say they look. Okay, because I've heard the statement before. I've heard this statement, and I've read women magazines that said this. When a woman lay eyes on you when she walk in the room, she know whether or not she gonna give it to you.
I will agree with you on that.
Okay, thank you. So, now see, there you go. Now I'm making it come at you.
Listen,
now I'm making it come at you because at first you said like nobody wasn't really looking. Y'all trying to pay slide.
No,
I don't like.
I still feel like though. I mean, I ain't talking about that look to say is this somebody like you said. Everything you just named. I'm talking. Don't look at me and salivate. Then walk over there and be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Okay,
don't do that.
Well, I mean,
I know, like you're not trying to figure out. You're not talking about my values or my morals or none of that. You looking at me talking about.
But let's be honest. I don't know that yet. I mean, let's call it what it is. I don't know that yet. Now, don't get me wrong, but disrespect.
What Reuben's saying is the first attraction is going to be physical.
Oh, yes.
No doubt.
Definitely.
And see, that's what I want people to be real about.
But what they say is don't be disrespectful with it.
Right. And I totally agree with that. But what I'm saying is when I look at you, I
know, right?
It's got to be something like, I don't know. I might look over, you got a cross around your neck. Okay, so I'm like, she go to church. Okay, your hair looking good. The tracks ain't showing. I figure like, I'm just being real. Just like my mama used to tell me. She said, when you look at a man, make sure. This woman tell you about them feet.
All right.
Have some clean shoes on. A good edge up. And smell good.
Yeah.
And she say somebody gonna love you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm with that.
agree.
So that's why women look at my feet.
There you go. Because you got them dingy Jordans on. They gonna be like, come on, he got dingy Jordans on. They don't even. I'll
let
y'all do y'all thing.
Yeah, Jordan lover. This can't be dingy.
We'll have to talk about a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show.
This dude,
this man, this Jordans, it's right up there with me.
I'm gonna have to mention my brother with him in these Jordans and these shoes because my looking at, even though my brother's a male and I'm a female, looking at him made me more conscious of be aware of how you look if you want the truth. Not even looking at my mama or my grandmama. It was my brother is so anal about his stuff. Bill is
OCD.
Don't you talk about my brother?
Okay, that's me. I'm with you. I'm just saying.
I'm
OCD.
being funny.
You're good.
I'm being funny. He's very OCD about his clothes. He paid.
But that says a lot about him too as a man, as a person. And that's why back to that look thing. When I look at a man that, it's 2019. Brothers shouldn't have nappy hair. Brothers shouldn't be musty.
I agree.
Okay, you shouldn't be walking around like you don't brush your teeth.
I agree.
So once again, that look is that, what's that thing? That first impression.
Yes.
That's where I'm at right there.
And then
if you lose me on that first impression,
and then sometimes you have people that give good first impressions, but then it's fool's gold.
True. Because like I said, when you look at a person, if you got on a bunch of it look like Gucci, but it's knockoff Gucci.
Oh, my.
You a knockoff nigga.
Oh.
I'm just gonna be 100 about it. Okay, I'm just gonna. Okay, because if think about it, once again, that appearance. Okay, if you wearing fake clothes, you probably a fake person. Let's be honest, because 9 times out of 10, a person gonna come up and they're going. I mean, the clothes it don't make the man, but we all know it. It says a lot about how you gonna, like you say, your pants sagging.
Look? What if they just like how it look?
As a woman, a man with a daughter, I would say this. You would even think about that statement you just said. What if they just like the way it look? So you got a brother that's stepping in the game that see fake stuff and he still want
like how it look. Okay.
So we lying to each other at the gate.
I feel you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
You bring the truth.
I'll go with that one.
All right, so next question. Okay, now we already established that we're dating with the end game. With the end game.
Check the warranty.
That's funny, y'all. That's funny.
It is. So we already say we're dating with the end game of marriage. So what, to the women, what do you think a man will look for to make him want to marry you?
You know what? I'm gonna ask y'all that question because
I'm gonna get back to that.
Well, the only reason I say that is because both men and women say they want something and they get what they want. There are plenty of people who can attest. I actually got what I wanted and then figured out I didn't want it. We hear often, even growing up as women, we hear keep a clean house, cook, take care of your children. Give him what he want in the bedroom. We hear that, but that's not always true because there are plenty. We do what we've been told, what we learn, what we think are the makings of a good woman. But then, so you tell me.
Well, okay, fine. All right, let's do this. For me personally, I'm looking for the simple things. The simple things being, okay, you don't necessarily have to be able to cook. Now, I would like, if a woman could cook, but that's not the biggest thing for me.
Okay.
She got to be able to cook.
That's you.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
That's you. Now, that might be something you could pick up later.
Okay.
All right. Of course, I would love for the clean house because I like clean houses.
Yeah.
But that's not just you. I learned that's not a gender role. If we live in the same house, we don't
need
keep
to clean
clean
up.
up.
Exactly.
For me, it's the simple things. Can you understand what my vision is and help me push forward? I don't need you to put money down. I need you to understand what I'm trying to accomplish and get on board with it and understand it.
Okay.
That's what I need. And if you can't understand where I'm trying to go and give me the affirmation needed to be in my corner and understand that I'm fighting for this thing, I'm taking time, money, tears, and years and bloodshed to get to this point, or you gonna ride with me and understand the vision as I'm helping to support you.
You had it rough.
Okay.
Bloodshed?
Yeah. Oh yes. Working them 14-hour jobs, that was some bloodshed, sir.
Wow.
Yes. So can you do that?
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback off that again because people say that, but I have seen instances where people they say the same thing you just said, but they would prefer, for lack of a better word, because I don't like the way this gonna sound, but for lack of a better word, a lot of men seem to want the woman who they feel needs them the most. They always got a sob story. They always po me. They always, I can't do this without you. Be my everything. Like but then you got this one over here who like I think I like her. I think I love her. She works. She take care of her kids. She do this. She do this. But then I got this one over here who ain't got no job, who don't take care of their kids, who can't keep things together because she can't do it without you. So and because she need more of your attention, then that's typically how they say women end up with the wrong man and the wrong man end up with the wrong women.
I guess my whole thing behind this is the word stipulations. We all talk about what we want, and you say, well, you offer this to a man, and but he seemed to go over here because this is where the woman seems, I guess, to need him more. Mm-hmm. I think I can speak for a lot of men and say, when you get in a relationship and it's like, yeah, we gonna have sex, yeah, you gonna cook, you gonna clean, but then after a while, y'all start turning it. Well, you made me mad today, so you can't get this. You don't do what I want to do, so you can't get that. So it ain't that I'm running over here because she need me more. It's that she'll give me more.
I'm gonna have to agree to disagree, only 50%, because I know people who've been in that situation.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So I agree.
It ain't 100%, but I
Yeah.
mean, like one thing people always say, man, we started out, we was having sex like rappers.
Yeah.
Now we done signed the deed on the house. You messing around like a turtle now. So remember, what you did to get me, you got to do it to keep me. And the same thing for the men too. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
What I did to get you, I got to do the same thing to keep you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to eat like rabbit. So we can have little baby rabbits.
That's all you got out of it.
Yeah.
I
I do want to make a comment right there, Marion, about not the rabbit part, but the whole if I don't do this or
stipulations.
Stipulations.
T-shirt with it on there, big letters.
Tit for tat. I think that's kind of what
I
it's
think you're a little angry, Brother Ruby. You're a little angry.
I just tell you how it is. I just tell you how
I'm
it
just
is.
messing with you.
I'm good. Let me tell you how it
You
is.
flashback. I tit for tat.
TSD, you was talking
I'm
about last
sorry. Go
episode,
ahead.
boy.
I'm sorry, Brandon. Go
you're,
ahead.
No, you're fine. But what I believe it boils down to is tit for tat. Is maturity. Is what it boils down
I
to.
agree.
I used to do that mess. If she don't do this, then I won't pay this. I won't get her that.
Yeah.
That's immaturity. When you, the end game, I think that's the verbiage you use, Carlos, is marriage. Dating with a purpose. I think that's kind of what has been the theme through these few shows that we've done. And if that's the end game, then you have to come into this with the maturity level of saying, okay, regardless of what that person does to me, I'm still going to do what I'm supposed to do in this relationship. I mean, I believe that's...
And if I could jump in on that right there, that's the real... I mean, I really try to preach this to a lot of brothers younger than myself when they come talk to me about relationships. Do the right things for... It's going to work out. Right. A lot of people, like I said, when we start pulling back, okay, I'm not going to show you my checking account no more. I'm not going to show you this or that. That's where people don't understand. The walls start going back up, and we're gonna start having problems. You know what I'm saying? But if you like, look, I'm just gonna keep doing you until you just no longer mine. I'm a firm believer of that. Okay, to the day you walk out, sign the papers, and it's over, I still got to do everything for you because you're still technically my woman. And that's where a lot of people I think fall short because, like I said, they start putting stipulations on.
I agree.
You won't do, then I ain't gonna do.
I agree.
Yeah.
Last question for me is, would you ever date outside your race?
Go ahead, Ruben.
I know, right? Tell us how it is.
Tell us how you really
Because
feel.
you over there jigging and stuff. I'm just saying.
Tell us how you really
No, we're gonna let the ladies go first on that. Then I'll clean it up for them.
Not wait a minute. Wait a minute. No. You want to go first?
Love to me shouldn't have a color. I do have a preference.
You call me your white man.
I do.
Oh Lord.
Because you're
It's
the
very
Every
tough.
day.
baby, because you're the whitest man I've ever dated. But I love you. I mean, because my preference has my past. If you see my track record, they've always been the color of this mic stand. But
They can't see that mic stand.
okay, well it's black.
It's a white mic stand.
It's black. It's
Just
black.
for the record. Thank you.
No, it's black.
I ain't never seen
The
no
black-
white mics, man.
Me either.
Oh, they got them.
They do?
They got them.
Black of the berry.
They got white dildos and they got white mic stand. No, okay, all right.
Have mercy.
push him down, run him over with a truck.
Something.
I'm just saying.
But don't get me wrong, there are beautiful men in other races. Just not my preference.
Well, if y'all follow her Facebook page, she posts men once a week. So if y'all want to see what type of men she's talking about.
Listen, my friend do that to get us through the week, ladies. That's why she do that. Hump day, fine. Look for it.
Hey, y'all, this has been fun. I didn't realize the time has went by this fast. We got to wrap it up. Before I do wrap up this series on is it worth dating in 2019, I believe we answered the question that it is, if you're ready for it. I want to leave you with this this quote. Best relationship. Talk like best friends. Play like children. Argue like husband and wife. Protect each other like brother and sister. Y'all be on the lookout for our next episode. The next episode is going to be a little lighthearted. Not so... I mean, this kind of been lighthearted too, but it's been a serious conversation. But it's going to be a little looser. We're going to have a great debate. little looser. We're gonna have a great debate on the topic Android or iPhone.
Android.
That's like saying black or white.
And I have an iPhone, Android.
So y'all tune in. Thank you all. Go and like our Facebook page. And please tell your friends about our show. And play it as much as you like. And let everybody else hear about this. Until the next time, this is the Brandon and Carlos Show.
We out.